Welcome to FBB Forum. My name is David, and this podcast is dedicated to all the amazing athletes of female bodybuilding. If you like this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the FBB Forum YouTube and Instagram pages. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning NPC amateur bodybuilder Alexis Donner to the podcast, but she's also known to fans as Lexi Marquise. Lexi is no fan to strangers to bodybuilding, and has recently built up her fan base with her exceptional OnlyFans and SessionGirls pages. And she just recently started up a HerBicepsCam webcam page as well. Lexi last competed at the 2023 NPC Universe in figure, and in 2022 competed at the Atlantic States. Lexi also played tennis in college. She's a fantastic young woman and a very fast rising star who has a goal, which I applaud, of getting as big as possible. So I think that's awesome. Stay tuned to find out where she will compete next. But welcome, Lexi. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Out of all the people you could have chosen, you chose me. So I'm very grateful for that.
Well, you're so awesome. No, I'm glad to get to
Thank
see
you.
you. And yeah, and I followed your OnlyFans for a little while, and yeah, and I think you're definitely a rising star in the sport. So I was happy to get to speak with you. Now, I was curious in terms of getting started in bodybuilding. Did you have an athletic or sports background before you started? And I know you played tennis in college, but how long did you do that, and any other sports you were involved in?
So really, I mean, I was a tennis player my whole life. I started when I was 6 years old playing
Really?
tennis. I also did swimming as well.
Okay.
At one point, I was doing both tennis and swimming, and my parents were like, okay, you have to pick just one and be good at it. So I had potential in both. Like I had coaches in swimming who made comments about how I had potential, and then I had also coaches from tennis saying I had potential. So I ended up picking tennis. So I played in high school. I did pretty well. I went to states. I guess I placed second in states my junior year when I played first
Wow.
singles. Um, and then I also played a lot of national tournaments like throughout the country. I played a couple international tournaments.
Wow.
So yeah, like that was my whole life. It was all that. And then once I started weight training, I kind of just fell in love with weight training more than I like tennis.
Okay. Cool.
um, so yeah, I mean, I got into weight training because actually had a spinal fusion when I was 13.
Really?
Um,
Wow.
so after that, I needed to rehab myself to get back into playing tennis. I started out slow, obviously. I'm just like walking a lot and doing all of that. I did get into running at one point. I was running like 12 plus miles a day. I
Really?
could have actually done a half marathon. I was running that much.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, that's kind of like my background with sports and athletics, tennis, swimming, a lot of running.
Did you get to meet any big tennis stars when you were competing?
Who did I meet? So I worked at Saddlebrook in Florida at one point, and I also went to the academy there. I met Andy Roddick, who
Nice.
like, I don't think he plays anymore. I don't even follow tennis anymore, really. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
so I met him in person. I met Serena at the US Open at one point.
Nice.
Um, did I meet Roger Federer? No. There was one other pro at Saddlebrook. I forget though who it was who I met, but yeah. So
That's awesome. I live in Tampa area, and I know that's near Tampa, and yeah, that's a really good tennis academy too. So
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome that you got to do that and got to compete internationally too. That's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So did tennis kind of give you the bug to compete in terms of in terms of competing in bodybuilding?
So I actually coached tennis for some time after I went to college. I did that for maybe like 5 years. I mean, I did really
Oh,
well coaching tennis. I've always just been like really competitive. I got into bodybuilding because at one point, I was with my ex, and all we were doing was like going out and drinking, going to happy hour. Because it's like, as an adult, if you don't have activities after work, you know, certain things you want to do, it's like, what do you end up doing? You end up like going to happy hour all the time.
Yeah, I
So, I
understand.
just got out of shape. I gained too much body fat. Um, and I was just like unhappy with how I looked. So I just remember one day we were walking out of a bar after happy hour, and I kind of started crying. I was like, I'm not happy with this anymore. I was like, I want to, change, really how I look as well. I don't want to be going out and drinking and doing this all the time.
Yeah.
So I actually had him do his first show with me, because he was
Oh,
kind of always big into weight training, but never did a show. But he always had people comment and say, "Oh, it looks like you could do a show." So I said, "You know what? Let's do a show." Because he has a friend that coaches people, so we ended up using his friend.
okay.
So yeah, it's kind of how I got into my first show, and then after that, I just wanted to keep going. So
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
so cool. No, that's really cool. Yeah, it's kind of interesting you mentioned happy hour because that can quickly develop into unhappy hour if you think about it, you know.
Yeah, it just gets boring, it's like redundant, and it's just like a bad habit. So,
You kind of feel like shit too, with the drinking and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, every day it was like my stomach was bothering me. I was like, oh, but it was just like an ongoing cycle. And I was like I always still weight trained and stuff, but obviously if your diet's not in check and you're like drinking all the time,
yeah,
then you're not going to see results. You're not going to get the benefits or even feel good from working out if you're eating like shit and doing that. So,
exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's good that you kind of went on that bodybuilding path and that's very cool. Um now I was curious do you have a fitness role model that you look up to?
so growing up, my parents were always big into training and us doing sports. They're also big into us eating healthy. Like my mom always was cooking and making us good food. It was never, she was never ordering food out or getting us McDonald's.
Good.
She never allowed soda in the house, or fruit roll-ups were like the thing at the time. Like
Yeah,
that was not a thing in our house.
good.
So
That's
I just
cool.
I just kind of grew up like that. Yeah.
That's terrific. That's really cool. Um, and how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 33.
33. Oh, very cool. Oh, yeah. I was curious if there's anybody in bodybuilding that you kind of look up to now too.
Um, I mean, there's really so many that are great. Um, Obviously Andrea Shaw is, everyone likes her, so that's definitely a person I look up to. And
She's
like
awesome.
really, I love how she looks. I like Ivy too a lot.
Yeah.
Love
Oh,
her
she's
look.
awesome. Yeah.
She's thick, like has like a good look. She's got a lot of muscle in the right spots. There's just like a lot of them, and they have all different, there's different things about them that are great. So I don't know if I necessarily have one, but I just want to be like my best self, really. So I know it's not like the best to compare yourself to other people.
Sure.
So, I just want to be the best that I can be.
Sure. I totally got you. I understand. And Andrea is a good one to look up to. She's pretty amazing and she's
Yeah.
getting so big too. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
I was curious for your first bodybuilding competition, was it kind of tough for you to get up on stage in bikini for the first time? Was it a little nerve-wracking for you?
It wasn't so much getting up there in a bikini, because I knew I like put in a lot of work. Like I came in pretty shredded for my first show. I
Really?
mean, I did all the cardio I needed to do, and yeah, I mean, I got my body fat as low as I could get it for, my first show. Um, I guess it was more nerve-wracking getting up in the heels and walking across the stage,
Yeah, I
and then
see.
doing the poses, because it's
Yeah,
kind of like a thing. It's like public speaking a little bit, I guess. Just wasn't something I was used to doing, like performing.
yeah.
So that was a little nerve wracking. But
What was your first contest?
what was it? It was the New Jersey States. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, very
A
cool.
local show. I forget where it was held though. It's like somewhere up north.
And what year was it?
2021.
2021. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you've been doing this about 4 years now, huh?
Yeah, so I'm still fairly new.
That's great though. Yeah. You have a great look though, I think. So that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah. So your last competition was 2023 Universe, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
And how did you place there? You were in figure?
Yeah, I didn't really do well. I mean, I don't
Hmm.
know. There, like I said, like there's a lot of girls in it. Um, I did move a couple times during the prep. Not saying it's an excuse, but it definitely raises your cortisol levels if you're, stressed at all. So I was
Yeah.
definitely going through some things during that prep, but my goal really was to follow through and get on stage because I planned to do it. And I said I was like I'm not backing out. I
Okay.
want to just get on stage and do the best that I could do. Was I happy with the results? No, I was like actually pretty upset and pretty mad about it. I
Wow. Okay.
mean, so I
Yeah.
was like, next time I do a show, I want to really improve and do way better than this because this didn't cut it for me.
I got you. I understand, but kind of lit a fire under you too, probably, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, that's great. I did see the pictures of you from 2023 Universe and your recent pictures, you just look quite a bit bigger. And I know you're planning on doing women's physique for your next contest, is that right?
Yes. Correct. Yep.
And you do you know where yet you're going to compete, or is that still kind of in the works?
That's still in the works. Yeah. So
Very cool. Are you would you have to do a regional show to qualify for pro qualifier, or is that how you'd have to kind of do it?
yeah, so I guess I would do a local show place. I think it's top three. I think it's top three. They go to nationals and then, wherever I pick for nationals and, so I think that's how it works. That's
I
what I
think
did
you're
last
right.
time.
That's great.
So
I think you have great potential, and I think women's physique is the right move for you. I think that's going to be good for you, and hoping, yeah, I hope you get your pro card this year. Ideally, would be great.
yeah, that would be awesome. But I know it just depends on that day and the judges and my competition, pretty much.
Yeah, I got
So,
you. Did having that taken the, I guess, last year off, do you think that helped you in terms of, putting on size and just kind of changing your physique to get ready for the bigger girls?
oh yeah, definitely. I think I could definitely do physique at this point. As far as doing bodybuilding, I don't, I want to be definitely a lot bigger to do that.
I got
Especially if I were to get my pro card, I don't really like want to wait to do a pro show. I'd rather just like be ready to do a pro show. I know a lot of girls get their pro card and then they like take another 2 years to get bigger. I'd rather just like be ready.
That's
So
great. Oh, I think that's terrific. That'd be nice. So yeah, so you could possibly do a pro show this year if you got your pro card, maybe.
yeah, I would. I would do that. I mean, I'm not going to be that person who does several pro shows a year because I just don't think your body can look good that many times. I know there's people that do that, which whatever, that's fine. But I just would want to, give my body a break, train, just get better and better, and then do a show, maybe a show or two a year.
That's great. I
That's
think
how
that's
I
smart.
kind of think. Yeah.
I think it's healthier that way too, isn't it? I mean, really.
That's what I think. I'm still kind of new doing this, but I just feel like your body can't peak more than I really feel like it could peak one time a year. Or
Yeah,
when you look your absolute best. I mean, you could probably look good for another two shows, but like if you're doing more than that, I mean,
yeah.
I don't see the point of it. Some people do it.
I
So
agree with you on that. I think that's smart. I think that's very smart to do. Yeah, one or two a year would be good.
yeah.
Um, I was curious, at the bodybuilding shows you've been to so far, have you kind of found like kind of strong iron sisterhood and with the other competitors? And what do you think about the tanning and makeup and expediters at those other shows?
The tanning, makeup, the expediters, everything was great backstage. I haven't really like made a lot of connections yet with people in the industry. I just haven't been doing it that long.
Yeah,
I really my first show I don't count because I kind of just said I want to do a show and it was a 24-week prep. I used what I had and there was like not really a lot of people in the show. There was only a
yeah,
few other girls,
okay.
so not many people to talk to. So really I've only done a couple shows where there was a good amount of people there.
Oh, sure, okay.
Um, I just haven't been in it long enough to make connections, so it would be nice to,
I understand.
have other people, who you could talk to about like your training and everything else you go through with this. So,
That's cool. Yeah. I have some ladies that watch this podcast. They might reach out to you and yeah, maybe want to connect with you too. So that'd be awesome. Yeah.
well, yeah, that would be great.
No, I totally understand that though. I ask that question sometimes because I wonder if it seems like they're generally with the women, it's pretty strong. It's not really catty or bitchy or whatever. But
Yeah.
sometimes with the men, they can kind of be kind of nasty to each other.
Oh my, I know. I saw them like I remember at what was the first show I did with when I was with my ex, and there's like people pushing each other. I'm like,
Really?
well, yeah, like the guys are trying to like make room for themselves, and I was like, oh my god, they're
Oh
worse than
man.
the girls. I was like, I was
Oh
like, they're
man.
acting catty, and the girls are not.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that the men are more like that. I always wondered too if there would be like a Carrie or a Nancy Kerrigan. You might be too young to remember this, but Nancy Kerrigan got hit in the shin. She was a pro skater, and Tanya Harding was behind it and her husband, but it was to kind of knock her competition out. Um, and I always wondered if something nasty like that would happen at a bodybuilding show, but I don't think there's been ever anything like that.
Hey, I mean, who knows? I've heard some of the fans. I heard one. I don't know. There's someone posted a video of a show, and the fans were all like, there was one lady screaming, and it just sounded like almost she was at a wrestling match. That's what it reminded me of when my brothers were wrestling.
Oh
Because I have
yeah.
three brothers that all wrestled, and I would go to their matches, and people would be screaming like that. And
Oh
this lady
yeah.
was screaming at a bodybuilding show like that, and I just found it like really fun. I was like,
Oh, I actually
sticking
wish that there
around.
was more yelling like that at the bodybuilding shows because sometimes they're too calm, and I think it helps pump up the competitors too. And another thing I thought too that'd be kind of fun, like with wrestling, they always have the kind of the backstage drama, like um trash talking or whatever. But I thought that would be kind of fun to film that at a bodybuilding show too, even if it's fake, but it would just like kind of create some tension and drama and stuff.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Calling you out, Andrea Shaw, that kind of thing. I'm just being silly. Now, you mentioned that one of your main goals is to get bigger or as big as possible. And and I know you said you're not quite ready for women's bodybuilding division yet, but it's great, I think, that you're doing women's physique. And we talked a little bit earlier before recording about practicing the posing and have you been doing that a lot with the posing practice to kind of get that down?
I have. I could definitely do more. I should probably get legit help. I'm just kind of BSing it when I do it.
Okay.
I feel like maybe I don't know. So I grew up playing tennis and it's very technical.
Yeah.
So like every little piece matters, I feel like. So there's always certain little things you can tweak that I just don't think about because I haven't been doing it for that long.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I could get like help in that respect. Just like with like certain tiny things that can make, something better, something larger better. So, like little tweaks you could do.
What about a posing coach? Have you looked into that or?
I know there is someone around here, the guy Kenny Wallich I've heard of. I
Yeah.
think he's in New Jersey,
I think that's
actually.
right. Yeah.
So I've heard he's pretty good. I've thought about it. Definitely something to consider. I definitely I need the help. So
Oh, yeah. I
I just
gotcha.
haven't gotten to it yet. But
I know there's a couple pros like Christina Mendoza and
yeah.
Sharonica Hinton that are both good posing coaches too. But and they'll work with you virtually too. So that yeah, that's a possibility for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, Christina Mendoza, she's like the main reason I wanted to get into doing this.
Really?
I saw a
Oh,
picture of her and I was like, I was with my ex at the time. I was like, that's what I want to look like.
oh,
Because I
nice.
love, she just like looks so good, like a lot of muscle, very feminine. And I just thought she was really pretty. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
Oh yeah. She's
And
so
then my
awesome.
ex was like, well, if you keep training, because he knew, I don't know, I guess he knew more than me. He's like, you could look like that if you keep training.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I could never look like
Oh
I could never
yeah.
do that. But so yeah.
She's awesome though. She's really inspiring too, I think. So yeah, that'd be cool to work with somebody. Yeah, I mean, you should reach out to her. That'd be cool to work with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would be.
I was curious, did have the judges at your prior shows given you any feedback on where you need to improve your physique or your presentation?
Really, I never asked them after the show. People are,
Okay.
I didn't even know that was a thing to do, really. And I
Yeah.
guess it was after my second show, people are like, well, did you ask the judges like what to improve? I was like, no. I was like, I just feel like I need to improve everything, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
I definitely knew my shoulders were a weakness. And with figure, obviously, it's like the big shoulders with the quads, that V taper. But in my mind, I was like, I want to move up. So I want everything to look better. So
Yeah. I gotcha.
I just never, yeah, that's why I never asked. And I was like, well, posing, I know I just have to work on that. I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, so I know I'm not the best, not even close to the best with posing. So
I
I'm not
gotcha.
going to even bother asking.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, that takes some time to practice that, I think, so um no, and the judges are I think are happy to help, I mean, and help out with that kind of feedback too. So from what my experience,
Mhm.
I was curious, what would you say is your best muscle group, and what do you think muscle group needs the most improvement on your physique?
So my shoulders have gotten better. I think they still need to get a lot better. The best, I mean, my chest has really gotten good. I
Yeah,
mean, I remember when I couldn't even do a push-up, or I could only do a few push-ups, and now my chest is probably maybe my best thing that I have.
yeah,
So
great.
I'm proud of it. I feel like it's better than like a lot of some of the guys. So,
Oh yeah, your chest is really awesome.
so yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah. And don't get implants. I don't care much for the implants. So.
No, that's yeah. No, I'm not getting that.
Okay, good. Stay natural. Now we talked before we started recording that you have a prep coach, and he's kind of well known. Like, who are you working with right now?
Hafiz out of Russia. Yeah, so everything's like going really great. I
Mhm.
only started working with him in the spring and I've made a lot of progress.
Spring of last year?
Yeah, so spring it's 2024.
Wow, that's
So
great. Yeah,
yeah, not even a year yet.
because
Um,
her or his wife, Nastenka, she's quite famous as a
yes, yeah.
bodybuilder, and she looks really amazing too.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually had a friend like reaching out to some coaches for me because he knew the progress I wanted to make.
Yeah,
And he came across him because I was like, I have no idea who I'd want to use.
yeah,
Like, I really just don't know. He came across him. It's just I just decided to pick him because I saw like his other clients and the progress they've made, some of the girls, and
yeah.
especially his wife, the progress she has made. And I was like, well, that's the direction I want to head in. So let's give it a try. So
That's terrific. Yeah. Yeah, his wife, Anastasia is, I know she qualified for the Olympia last year, but unfortunately couldn't come because of the visa situation. But I think that they've got that worked out now. So I think that she'll
Yeah.
be able to come hopefully to the US to compete. And I'm sure she's probably gonna qualify for Olympia again because her physique is just insane. It's just so,
Oh yeah, I think she'll definitely qualify. I
yeah.
mean, I think she's definitely top five. I mean,
Oh, I agree.
that's what I think. Everyone has their own opinion, but yeah, so I think that's in the works. I think she's like in prep right now. She's prepping for it. So
Terrific. Yeah. I'm excited about for both of them. That's going to be great. And
yeah,
I think that's a good move for you to work with him because seems like a really good coach and um he's had a lot of success too. So I think that's terrific.
yeah.
Yeah. I was curious, what would you say is the most kind of challenging aspect of prep for you?
It's challenging aspect. Um, I guess it would be if you were, which I am single right now by myself. I don't have kids. I don't have other people to worry about.
Yeah.
So I guess like if you're in a relationship with someone that doesn't really understand it, that could be challenging.
Yeah.
For me, I guess that was kind of challenging at one point. Um, because my partner did a show, didn't really care for it, didn't want to move on and do another one, and I
Hmm.
did.
Hmm.
So I guess that kind of affected the relationship because there's certain things like once you get towards the end of prep, if you do it properly, I mean you're freaking tired as hell and you're moody as hell.
Hmm.
So I guess there's sometimes like, during that where it wasn't great because I was like pretty moody. I didn't want to do stuff and he was bored.
I understand.
Because that was the last time I did a show or no. So yeah, I was going through a breakup my last show too. So I was moving and I was going through a breakup. So that's
Oh
probably
no.
why I wasn't my best. But um so I guess that would be like the main thing that was bad during
Sure.
it. Um, I also started doing things twice, like putting a fork on the table twice because I was like really I did what I had to do to get super conditioned. So I mean your brain
Yeah.
doesn't function properly.
Yeah.
It really it really
Uh,
doesn't.
I've heard
So
that
that was
before.
definitely frustrating. So you just have to like try to stay as calm as possible. So I would say that was definitely difficult for me.
Yeah, I understand.
It was annoying, but that's how it is. So until you carve back up, you just don't feel great.
Yeah, I understand. You have to give yourself some grace too, and because what you're going through is very unusual and not easy. Of course, it's not easy, So
Yeah.
with your partner, did you guys ever try to prep for a show together? Because I've heard from some people that sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not good because it.
Yeah. So the first show we did, so that was the only show he did. And I think I took it better than he did. He had trouble with the dieting and all that. I
Yeah,
mean, I didn't. I just took there are nights where you go to bed starving. Your
yeah,
stomach's growling, but you just have to go to bed. You're not going to eat more. And he couldn't do that. So I
I
don't
would.
think it was great for us, but
Yeah,
I guess for some people it works. So
I understand. I'd be eating the pillow. I think I'd be like to get hungry.
oh no, there was a time I had heartburn. I remember eating Tums, and I just remember the Tums tasting like really good. I didn't want to just eat a couple. I wanted to eat like the whole bottle. Like
I
that's
I can
how
understand.
hungry I was, but
They're cut yeah, some of them are tasty, they're minty or fruity or whatever, but yeah, but
I mean, if I ate them now, I would not think they were good. So
I understand though. Yeah, you don't want to eat them as a snack per se. Yeah, that's funny though. Um, Now I was curious I know you're relatively new to the sport, but in terms of what advice can you give to ladies who are looking for a good coach? Like what should they be looking for, do you think?
So I know a lot of people kind of look at coaches, and not just in this sport, but you know, maybe just if they want to do more of a lifestyle kind of a program, they look at the person that's like in the best shape, and that doesn't always necessarily mean that they're going to be a good coach for you.
Yeah.
Maybe they can train themselves, but like if they don't have proof that they have helped other people, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily go for that kind of a person. There's sometimes there's coaches that maybe they were good back in the day and maybe they look out of shape now, but they have the knowledge, they know what to do, they know how to talk to you also, because this sport's very mental. So
Yeah.
definitely you want to get someone who, has the knowledge and they've helped other people. And then you want to also have someone who you're comfortable talking to.
Yeah. Sure.
Because it shouldn't just be like when you check in, it shouldn't just be like a hi, bye, oh, like you look good, here's your next plan. It should be like, oh, how are you doing? Sometimes you need a video chat
Uh-huh.
to
Like a
talk more.
real conversation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
just to see how the person's doing. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, it could get to your head and maybe you're not doing well, and that could affect your progress.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a coach who kind of cares about you and I think that makes a big difference because sometimes like a detached coach, that I don't think is always the best thing because they don't necessarily care or they might care about you, but they don't necessarily show it, but unless they're kind of checking in on your, like you said, your mental health and your personal situation.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be passionate about it too.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think if you want to coach people, you definitely need to be passionate about it. Otherwise, you're going to get annoyed because people aren't just like asking for a program. Like it's like a mental thing too that goes along
yeah,
with it.
it is. It's very much a mental thing, I think. And
Yeah.
yeah, you have to be strong mentally to succeed in this sport, I think, so
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Now, we talked a little bit about this before recording, but do you have a full-time job outside of bodybuilding?
So I've done several different things. I've coached tennis. I've been a personal trainer. I was a veterinary technician for a while with the animals.
Cool.
Last thing I was doing was pest control, driving all over the place. I just wasn't really making enough to like live on my own. And then like also pay for the training that I need to do. So right now, I mean, I was able to start up the OnlyFans and do the sessions kind of while I was working, doing the pest control and like driving all over the place.
Yeah,
And I started doing well with the OnlyFans pretty quickly. And I said, I'm just not going to do the pest control anymore. I'm wasting a lot of time driving all over the place, when I could be like, training, resting, making food, posting more content. So I'm just doing the OnlyFans and the sessions right now. I'm using it as a stepping stone, saving money. And then maybe one day I could like open my own gym or something and do something I want to do.
that's terrific. No, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that the OnlyFans has been going well for you. And yeah, I would think pest control wouldn't be much fun too. I'd be like, ditch that shit.
It was interesting. I mean, I don't like desk jobs, so like driving around, you see a lot. Not
Yeah,
always good things.
yeah,
But and then the situations you're in too, like you go to like a lot of warehouses and it was interesting, but it wasn't great.
would guys be hitting on you and stuff too when you'd be working and
Um, I was very stern when I went to when I went to places like warehouses. It's all guys there, obviously
Mhm,
working.
mhm,
Um, I was not. I didn't have like makeup on and stuff. I had like a hat on.
mhm.
I think there were some customers that liked me coming to their house because I was a woman. They felt more comfortable with a woman coming to their house. But
Yeah, I got you.
I guess in the warehouses they got a little smiley, but I was like, just about my business. So
Yeah,
it
that's
didn't
great.
get anywhere.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I got you. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's pest control. You'd think, might like construction, might be considered more of a men's profession. So.
Oh yeah, I was the only girl doing it. There was one other girl working um in where I was working, but she was in another office. So it
Oh,
was just
sure.
me and all the guys, which that's not a big deal for me. I've always had like a lot of guy friends my whole life.
Cool.
So I'm kind of like a tomboy too.
Oh, very cool.
So
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think that's great though with the OnlyFans working, as well as it is and sessions and stuff too. Now I was curious, do you have a husband or a boyfriend?
Nope, single and keeping it that way.
Oh, that's cool. No, that's cool. You're so pretty though. So I just had to ask.
Oh,
And
thank you.
day
Yeah,
after
I
Valentine's
like
Day.
my peace too.
Oh yeah, I got you. I understand that. Yeah. And freedom too is kind of nice too.
Yes, no one asking me what I'm doing or hey, if I dated someone and they were supportive of the things I'm doing, fine, but
Sure.
yeah.
I
I
got
was
you.
in a relationship for like 8 years. I'm just like still taking a break.
Oh yeah, I got you. No,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah, I think that's good. And if that works for you, that works. That's really good.
Yeah.
Um, now, and you live in New Jersey, right?
Yes.
That's cool. And where are you down in near the southern end or northern or like near Philly?
So I'm like near Red Bank. I guess that's more north. So
Oh,
I'm not far from actually Edison right now.
that's where the film festival is, isn't it? Red Bank.
You might be thinking of Asbury. I'm more north, I would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Not far from the city. I'm like 45 minutes from the city.
Oh, cool. Yeah. In Jersey and New York City, do you find is there a pretty supportive bodybuilding community there?
Eh, not really.
Yeah.
I feel like in Florida, out in Texas, there's more of that.
Hmm.
There's more like hardcore gyms too, like power lifters, bodybuilders. I don't feel like you get a lot of that around here.
Yeah.
I
What
know there's
about
like maybe a few other people in this state, like girls that are bodybuilders, but
what
yeah.
the Jersey Shore show though? Well, those are
What's
mostly
that?
the guys that were the bodybuilders, actually, not the women.
Oh my God. That show. Yeah. That's the one thing people are like, oh, so you're like that, them. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Get into fights every night, No, I'm just kidding.
They are very Jersey though, like being loud and stuff. I mean, I think like you kind of have to be living here or you'll get run over. So.
I think about the Sopranos too, that kind of Soprano culture,
Uh,
mob culture
yeah,
kind
it's
of thing.
true.
Yeah. Um, uh, I was curious, do your parents and your siblings support, or assuming you have siblings, support your bodybuilding career?
Yeah, they do. I mean, I was living with my mom at one point, and she actually got to the point, I was getting up at 3:45 every day and like on a really strict schedule with training, and she saw the results I was getting, and she kind of made her want to get back more into like training. And then at one point, she was using a coach I set her up with. She
Nice.
was thinking about doing a show at one point. So she's definitely been very supportive. I mean,
Great.
my family, like on and off, is supportive. I don't see them that much. I'm one of five siblings, so
Oh, wow.
I'm the oldest. I guess a couple of them have been supportive. I think the one got a little freaked out. He saw me putting on more muscle and he got a little bit like weird about it. But
Really? Yeah.
other other than that, they've been supportive. My mom has been at least. So
That's great. What the age range of your siblings?
so we're all really like a year and a half apart. So 33, then my
Oh, wow.
brother is what is he, 32? He just turned 32 in January. I don't even know the rest of their ages.
Oh, yeah. No, that's cool.
And I have two other brothers and then a sister. She's what, 23, 24 now. So,
Wow. That's a
yeah.
big family too. That's a lot of siblings.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a daughter, and she's an only child, and I feel a little guilty by not producing siblings for her because she'll be But she's made some good friends, you know, that are kind of like sisters. But yeah,
Um,
but I think there's definitely a lot of value in having, you know, siblings like that, you know, especially when you get older. And yeah, so that's pretty cool though. Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. I hope that they'll come for your bodybuilding shows and yell for you too.
Yeah, a couple of them did. My sister did my last show. Um, not a lot of people go to these shows. That's
Yeah.
another thing, you kind of have to do it really for yourself
Yeah.
and, do the training for yourself. Like, don't expect people to like just, come support you, or at least don't get very upset about it.
Yeah, I
That's
understand
my
that.
opinion about it. But
Yeah, I got you. I find that's just true of fans in general. I mean, just,
yeah.
you know, fans just don't necessarily show up to the shows like you'd expect or like you'd hope, you know. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know, so and sometimes they're just too shy to show up, I think too, but which is unfortunate, but you know, yeah, but um now in terms of your Session Girls page, how long have you had that? And are you good at wrestling or have you perfected your wrestling moves?
So a lot of my sessions so far have just been like muscle worshiping, like I flex, I feel my muscles. Haven't really I've done some like scissor holds with people, but a lot of times when they see my thighs, they don't want to do it.
I got
They're like, I'm good. I don't want to get hurt.
you.
But I've only been doing it for a few months now. I've been on there. So I haven't done really any traveling with it. I've only been in New Jersey.
Okay.
I was gonna go out to Nashville last week, but I bought the ticket and then I looked at the weather that was in New Jersey and it said a snowstorm, and I was like, well, I really can't get stuck right now for like this whole week. I
Yeah.
only want to go for like 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
ended up canceling it.
Oh, sure.
Um,
Gotcha. I
yeah.
understand. Is
But
the
so far going well.
That's terrific. That's really cool. Yeah. And I hope that have you one thing I was will worry a little bit about ladies doing sessions is like safety. But have you ever felt kind of unsafe or has it all been pretty good so far?
It's been good so far. Yeah, all the people I've met have been great. So I did have to block a couple people that I was corresponding with through text. They got a little bit aggressive. So I was like, well, if you're gonna be weird before we meet,
Yeah.
then it's kind of a red flag. So
And I think
um you just have to meet, if you're meeting at a hotel, that's it's a public spot.
yeah.
So
And I think it's good to warn like family or friends that you're going to be a certain place, you know, just to, you know, kind of a backup plan too, just in case things do go sour, you know, so
oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I know some of the girls do sessions at like their house or apartment.
yeah, I think that's
I would
good.
never do that. And I've had people ask me, like, are you hosting it? Oh, do you want to come to my house? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
not coming, not coming to your house unless we're doing sessions for like 2 years. I know you, I trust you, and then maybe I will go to your house.
Yeah.
Like no one's coming to my apartment.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. That's good to have those boundaries, I think. And
Yeah,
could be a house of horrors too. You don't want to be do, you know,
yeah.
Silence of the Lambs kind of thing,
Yeah, so
you
I
know.
was just like, no, I don't know. They're crazy. Some of the girls, like they're having people at their house. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. No. No, that's cool. I'm glad that's been going well for you though. And now with the OnlyFans page, tell me about that and how long have you had that and what can fans expect to see there if they join your page?
So I've had that. Was this my fourth month now? Second month I did really well. So that's kind of when I decided to get rid of the pest control, just do the OnlyFans and then the sessions as
Oh,
well.
okay.
But I just post a lot of I post sexy content, less clothes on.
Oh
I
yeah.
do, just a lot of flexing videos, posts, training. I try to record more of my training, which I'm getting better with it. It's hard for me to do it during my training because I'm just like very focused on training.
Yeah,
And then if like, I have to set up a tripod, all that's kind of could be an interference, but I've gotten better. I also do like custom stuff. I know there's like, a lot of people are into like, certain fetishes, things, foot things, a lot of
sure.
other things I
Yeah,
never even knew about. So I'll do like videos for them. They'll pay for. Yeah, so that's about it on there. Just flexing stuff and like training, sexy stuff.
terrific. Yeah. How many, if you don't mind me asking, how many subscribers do you have now, or do you know offhand?
So I have 170 right now. It's like kind of up and down though. So really what I have to do now is because I have all like solo stuff of myself. They want to see more of like you with other people, like wrestling guys, girls,
Hmm.
just with other people. So I
Yeah.
actually did plan another trip to Nashville where I'm hooking up with CJ Films.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a session with him and then we really hit it off. So he wants to, help me out. So he has people for me to like hook up with and, do record stuff with like wrestling and whatever else we want to do. So I think, the fans will like that. That'll attract more people. And he's hooking me up with people that already have a following.
Oh, cool.
So if
Yeah.
I get on their page, they'll see me, they'll follow me. So that should help. So I'm going there actually next weekend.
Oh, terrific. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
So,
that's terrific. No, I think at 170 subscribers is pretty good too. And I think especially for a relatively new page, but I think the fans love you though. So yeah, you're pretty awesome.
thank you.
Yeah. And you just have a great look. So yeah, it makes sense. Um, Now I know you're new to HerBicepsCam, which is like a live webcam website. Um, how has your experience been with camming on there, and have I hope that fans have been behaving too. Hope it's been going okay for you.
Yeah, so I really went on my first time last night for Valentine's Day. Definitely, I wasn't on there that long. I was only on like an hour, made over $100.
Good.
And
Yeah.
it was fun. I mean, I just like was talking, BSing with them in the free chat, and then you get invited to like a one-to-one for a little bit, flex, whatever. They ask you questions, get to know you. Um, I mean, there's always going to be people that are a little bit out of line. Like, I don't really get offended that easily.
Sure.
Makes it a
Yeah.
little more interesting too. So, whatever. You just don't put up with the bullshit. You just,
Yeah. And
whatever. You can tell them to fuck off. Whatever. So,
you can block them and stuff too, and
oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if you, I had people already. Oh, like, can we meet? Like, are you single? I want to date you. I mean, no.
I got
No,
you.
we're not dating.
Uh,
So, but yeah, you can block them. You can tell the people that own the page too. If you're having like a real issue with someone, which I haven't had, I've only been on there one time,
yeah,
but I think they'll take care of the situation. So,
that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
so far it was cool. It was fun. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. And and I hope that, I mean, with across all three, pages, have would you say fans have mostly been pretty good, or I'm sure you've had a few that have been misbehaving, but
yeah, I mean, no one's really done anything that bad. They just ask if you're single and they want to date you.
yeah. Uh-huh.
But I mean, I'm sure like even people, celebrities get that crap too,
Yeah,
oh, can I meet you? Oh, I want to go out with you. So it's not a
I,
big deal. I just ignore it.
I got you. I understand. No, and like I said, I think it's cool that, you've been making enough money that you don't have to work like another regular full-time job. You're making good money doing OnlyFans and sessions and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. That's great. So yeah. Um, I just have a few more questions for you. I was thinking, do you ever find it hard to deal with the demands of social media? Because I know you're young, but and it's probably second nature to you, but what's your experience been like with social media so far?
Really, I was not used to making content or posting pictures.
Hmm.
I'm really not great with social media. You would think I would be. I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
like I don't know. I'm the type of person that needs to get like a calendar and write on the calendar. I don't want to like keep just stuff on my phone or, you know, digitally.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So it was a little tricky at first. And then I guess you just have to be disciplined with like making videos if you don't like doing it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true.
so yeah, I guess it was a little tricky at first. I just made myself do it though, and it's been doing well. So it gave me, more of a desire to post stuff.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. And maybe more content for the OnlyFans too, because you're already making something, you can kind of continue, but also to kind of help attract fans too, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely need to like be posting stuff, like interacting with the fans. Otherwise, they're not gonna sign back up. So
Yeah,
yeah, you just have to stay on top of it, stay on a schedule every day, especially that I let go of, my full-time job and I'm doing this. I just have to make sure like everything, I'm staying on schedule. I'm getting up early still, doing
yeah,
my training, and I'm being disciplined with that because you could very, very easily get off track if you're not on a good, you don't have someone telling you you have to be somewhere if you're used to that. And you
yeah,
could just be like, oh, well, like I'm gonna sleep in and, just get up at like 11 o'clock, go train and, waste my whole day. So
yeah.
that was the main thing for me is just like getting up early still and just staying disciplined with that.
I gotcha. I understand. No, that's good that you're still doing that, getting up early. Now, I alluded to this a little while ago, but how do you think we can get more fans to show up and show out to the bodybuilding shows? Because I think you've experienced this. It seems like I don't know the fans don't necessarily show, they don't necessarily pay for tickets or buy the live stream, but what do you think can be done to get more people to show up,
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's just a very it's a different kind of sport, art, some people call it art.
Mhm.
I feel like it is gaining more popularity. I think maybe they could have the competitors on stage longer.
Mhm.
I think they kind of cut that down too much. They have like so many categories now. Now they're, rushing people on and off. I
Yeah.
just remember like my last show, I invited my parents obviously, and my dad got there late and it was like I was on and off stage. It was like 2 seconds.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think if they increase the time people were doing like their main showing, you go on, everyone goes on by themselves and does their
Yeah.
routine, they could have that a little bit longer so that,
Mhm.
fans, friends, whatever, family will want to come. Because, like,
Yeah.
if you're
I
just
got
like on and off stage, I don't know, they're not gonna like just drive an hour and see you on stage for 2 minutes. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Even the pros don't get that much time on stage, honestly, I know. And yeah, I would like to see that. I remember back in the day when there was just one division, it was just women's bodybuilding. And sometimes with the pros would have, a few minutes to do their routine. And now it's like it has to be done in like 2 minutes, it has to be rushed. And
mhm.
yeah, I agree with you. I think more stage time would be nice. I also feel like the ticket prices are honestly a bit expensive. I don't know if you've encountered that with friends or family, but I just think that tickets can sometimes be prohibitively expensive, especially if it's several tickets needed to get to see different parts of the show, throughout the day or throughout 2 days
Mhm.
or 3 days. So, yeah, but yeah, I'll get off my soapbox there.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been to really a couple local shows. I saw friends competing. So I don't have a lot of experience with like buying the tickets, but I think they make you buy several tickets, right? Or no?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
some cases, yeah, you might have to buy you know, one show for NPC for certain divisions and then another for NPC for certain divisions. And then pro might be divided up into two or three or four tickets.
Mhm.
like $60 or $70 a piece. And it's like,
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, just like it's way too expensive. I mean, and so I understand why fans kind of opt out, it's like it's just too fucking expensive. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, maybe if they had it that expensive, but then they had other things with the show, like the competitors are on stage longer. I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe they have like a band play. I mean, for that price,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, just adding other things to make it, where people think it's worth their while to spend that much money.
cheerleaders, maybe. Yeah. No, just
I don't know, have like alcohol available.
open bar. Yeah, that'd be
I,
cool. Yeah.
seriously.
Get them to. It'd be hooping and hollering more then.
There might be more trouble with that though.
That's true. Yeah, it's a unhappy hour. Oh man. Um, I was curious if there's anything I missed that you'd like to address or anybody you'd like to shout out.
Um, no, I don't think so. I
How about
think you
any?
caught everything, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I was curious, do you have any sponsors? Are you interested in getting sponsors?
I would love some sponsors. That'd be great. I don't have any right now. I'm doing everything by myself, so
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I know there's even some in-kind sponsors that like, the ladies that make the suits sometimes will sponsor girls. You don't have to pay the big bucks for the suit and stuff like that.
Well, that would be great.
Yeah,
If I could get that, that would be awesome because those suits are expensive. So
I know. They gotta sew all the rhinestones in there and stuff. Yeah. Well, that's all the questions I had for you. If you're cool with it, would you mind doing a couple flexes for me?
sure, I'll do some biceps.
Thank you. Wow, you look great.
I'll flex my chest since it's already here.
Yeah, your chest looks great. Yeah. You definitely have put on a lot of size since you last competed, I think.
Yeah, so I remember when I was like 140, 145, and that weight was high on me. Like it didn't look good on me. And now I'm 167. Like that's what I woke up today as, and
Wow.
I have abs. So big
Nice.
improvement for me. So
And how tall are you?
5'5".
5'5". Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Wow. That's a good height for women's physique too. Not, I think that's kind of like probably more toward the center for the height, in terms of what the other girls are. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I'm excited for you. I'm possibly going to the New York Pro show to cover it for my podcast, but do you think will you go to that show? Do you think? I know that's at Teaneck, New Jersey.
That's actually pretty close to me. I mean, maybe I'll go.
Yeah.
I should go. I really haven't actually been to a pro show.
Yeah, you should check it
I've
out,
only watched it
actually.
on TV. So
Oh, you should just go to be even a spectator, even if you didn't compete,
yeah.
because it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting to watch, and yeah, just but the competitor is so amazing too. So it'd be
Mhm.
see, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Lexi. I really appreciate your time. I'll make sure to include your links down below if fans want to check out, OnlyFans or her biceps or whatever.
Okay,
Um,
that'd be great.
and I'll try to get this posted later, like I said, later today, and I'll of course tag you. But best wishes to you. I'm excited for you.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mhm.
No, I appreciate your time, and yeah, I'm real glad I got a chance to speak with you. Thank you.